A single element. Two completely opposite destinies. Uranium can power an entire city with clean electricity, or it can erase that same city from the face of the earth. And right now, this extraordinary duality sits at the very core of the growing standoff between the United States and Iran. Tehran has maintained consistently that its nuclear program exists for peaceful purposes only: electricity generation, medical research, scientific advancement. And under the framework of international law, every nation holds that right. There is nothing illegal about civilian nuclear development. But Washington sees a very different picture. American officials argue that Iran's uranium activities have moved far beyond any civilian explanation, and that a nuclear weapon is no longer a distant possibility. It is, they say, dangerously close. To understand why this matters so deeply, you need to understand how uranium actually works. Natural uranium contains only about 1% of a special form called uranium-235. This is the form that releases massive energy when its atoms are split apart. Control that release, and you generate electricity. Fail to control it, and you have a nuclear explosion. Same element, same process, entirely different outcome. Because natural uranium has so little uranium-235, it must be concentrated, a process called enrichment. Civilian nuclear power requires enrichment between 3 and 5%. That is the globally accepted standard. Building a nuclear weapon requires enrichment of around 90%. Here is where the alarm bells ring. Once uranium crosses the 20% threshold, the most technically demanding phase of enrichment is effectively complete. Reaching weapons grade from that point becomes considerably faster. Iran's uranium is currently enriched to approximately 60%. No power plant needs 60% enriched uranium, no hospital, no research facility. There is no civilian application at that level, and it sits just 30% below weapons grade. Back in 2015, a multilateral agreement brought Iran's enrichment under strict international monitoring. But America walked away from that deal in 2018. Sanctions returned, and Iran responded by steadily pushing its enrichment higher to where it stands today. The core question remains unanswered: peaceful program or a slow, calculated march toward a nuclear weapon? This is GTN.